Welcome back. We are back at it again. And this video, we're talking about Ready Player One. So Ready Player One is no longer just fiction in a movie, in a book, but it's coming to reality in Web3 to make it more even tangible as it wasn't already before. So with that said, we're going to be diving into exactly what that means for the Web3 space and also the implications it could have really on a, not only a Web3 level, but a real mass adoption level. So let's go ahead and just hop right into it. Now, this is featured by Paul Barron. He did some deep dives into this. So we're going to be reacting to his video today.
Ripple backed Futureverse to bring Ready Player One to franchise to the metaverse. This is something that starts to integrate Ripple in a little bit further. We have a clip for you guys that breaks this down on Ripple and the Readyverse. Listen in. All right, so here's TechCrunch talking about Ready Player One creator debuting Open. This is a
So that video was pretty exciting, and who doesn't love a good DeLorean? So with that said, this is pretty interesting, right? We've seen a couple DeLoreans, we've seen them drop on VV, but this is something different, right? We're talking about an experience and a immersive experience. So if you're into the collectibles, that's one thing, but if you are into experiences, I think this is where Open and the Readyverse and Futureverse, they're trying to go, and what they're trying to portray. And that's kind of the thesis of this channel is the entire time. If you've been watching for the past couple years, you already know that was the thesis here, is that AI and gaming was going to merge, and this is exactly their thesis as well. So it actually was, correct the entire time. And now in the future, interoperability is going to be a thing on the front end assets, and in my opinion, what I call the back end assets, which is the non-fungible tokens and what have you. So with that said, let's go ahead and continue through this video.
the Battle Royale experience, all tied into Ripple third-person Battle Royale experience, which players compete against each other in a game show-styled multi-round collaborative modes using various gaming techniques such as shooting, tactical positioning, and driving, amongst other things that will be out there. And of course, this comes from the white paper a little bit on Futureverse. And one of the things you'll notice here, they partnered with Ripple and the XRP ledger to provide base block rewards in the form of XRP. So XRP will be used as the gas token.
So that is a pretty interesting model there, and I think that's the reason why is because they're trying to appeal for mainstream adoption. They know that XRP is a high throughput chain and it provides a lot of different tool sets for not only developers, but onboarding users into their ecosystem. So this could be the direction that they're going in, obviously, is they're using XRP already, but really going after mainstream. Let's go ahead and continue.
On Futureverse going forward. So there's another example. I've got a clip for you that kind of explains this a little bit further. Listen in.
We pulled together 11 companies across 4 jurisdictions that were focused on either infrastructure, content generation tools, or content itself into one vertically integrated metaverse powerhouse. Now we have, I think, well over 250 people in 16 countries around the world.
11 companies and over 250 people. These guys are not messing around. So that is going to have implications for other platforms out there that are seeking to do kind of the same thing, right? So I think there is going to be some competition moving into the space as we see kind of the quote unquote Web3 metaverse take hold. So this is going to be an interesting story to watch unfold, but let's go ahead and continue with the clip.
And we work with the biggest brands across 5 different sectors of content. The Root network is a XRPL sidechain, uses XRP for gas natively on the network, and it's integrated to things like the XLS20 standard. And so the Root network was designed to both provide superpowers to XRP and to the ledger to do things that it couldn't do, but also to solve the usability issues for bringing new users into Web3. And on top of that, we built these core protocols and services that make it both easy for users to interact and for developers to build on top of it. Things like Futureverse, which is our digital identity and single sign-on system, our asset register, which enables interoperability of content in the metaverse, embedded protocols in the network that support creating assets and managing assets. We'll be hooking into the XRP AMM shortly to increase liquidity on the network. So making it simple for developers and making it simple for users at the core of what.
Yeah.
So as you can see, there's been a lot of progression in this space, talking about metaverse, gaming, and AI converging into one. And as you can see, he goes over a few things that are very important to reach mainstream users and gamers, like single sign-on, and obviously the liquidity side of things, but in the ledger system itself in XRP, where high throughput is actually needed. Especially you talk about microtransactions in games, they take up a lot of transaction space in a network. So with that said, let's go ahead and continue through the clip.
What the root network's about.
All right, so a lot going in there, and the good thing is that XRP is starting to move out into other, areas of what we will see in Web3. And I will go to another, because I think the other phase of Web.
All right, so that's it for this clip. Let me know what you guys think about that. I do think this is going to heat up in the space. Obviously, we're seeing a major competition. This could have wider implications in terms of brands and how they interact with each other in the space as a whole. And it has always been my thesis that, not only the NFT side and the token side were going to be interoperable, but also the front end assets that they're actually connected to. A lot of people say, well, it's not on a decentralized system. Well, interplanetary file system in itself is kind of decentralized, but then you do have Filecoin and many other protocols out there that are working towards decentralizing the front end assets. That's a whole different story, but I think those are going to be interoperable either way. So I think the sky is the limit here. Now, I do think this platform will be similar to what we've seen with Vivi in the past, where it'll kind of be a little centralized and a little bit of a walled garden. I don't see them and some of these brands and IP coming into the space and just opening the floodgates. As you know, Ready Player One does have a lot of brands that were in the movie, so it's going to be interesting to see how they roll brands out. Obviously, there's going to be a lot of legal and things that are going to be involved on the back end that we've learned from other branded platforms like Quid, Vivi, and many others out there that have tried to go this route and just kind of struggled. So it is going to be interesting to see where kind of the Futureverse and Open and Ready Player One all go in that direction, and to see how they're able to execute and navigate from the learnings that we have learned for the past 2 or 3 years here on the channel. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that. We're just heating up. This channel is just heating up. And by the way, catch me over on Twitter or on X, as it's called now, at Kyle Wilson, last name 2 L's. I'll catch you guys later. Be like an NFT, be authentic. I'll catch you soon. Peace.